Hi guys, this is Raziel2689 bringing you a free video as part of the HeadsUpSittingGo.com 5-year anniversary giveaway. So I'm going to be doing a review of a $100 Heads Up Turbo. It's played against a reg on PokerStars against the Shifty 2K9. We've played a few games, not many. I don't think I have any hands on this particular computer against him, but we'll see if HUD actually brings anything up. Reasonably aggro history from what I can remember, but it was from a little while ago, so yeah, we'll see if the hands on the HUD can show us anything. Okay, so we have like 28 hands. Okay, it's showing like a 50% 3-bet through 28 hands, so that's like 7 out of 14 on opportunities from the big blind. So it's pretty huge, but obviously small sample. We could very easily just had hands. A 50% flop check raise as well, so probably something to keep an eye on. Nothing to start obviously making drastic adjustments yet through 28 hands. So this hand we open 10-6 spades, flop a flush draw, see about the flop, barrel turn. We get check raise on the turn. Definitely not folding. We're getting too good a price against sets, two pairs, etc. We also need to be aware of like how strong we rep when we call this turn. So I mean, our sort of perceived range for calling this turn is sort of two pairs, sets, king X, some spade combos, I guess. Yeah, actually quite a few spade combos. But so when villain checks this river after check calling the flop and check raising the turn, I think we absolutely have to bet this river. Yeah, I mean, I really don't think we have any sort of history to indicate that we can give him credit for being able to sort of check raise this turn for value and then check this particular river to induce bluffs from misdraws. I think my thought process at the time was that when he check raises the turn and I call, he's probably just gonna think that I have it. A big hand that I'm not folding. He's probably not really thinking about draws that much since it is a reasonably dry board. So yeah, we can for sure bluff this river. I mean, if we think about what hands he should be check raising on this turn, if he thinks I'm barreling wide, then he can check raise sort of queen jack, jack 10, queen 10. Yeah, would be good hands to check raise here. So yeah, I think when we bet this river, I mean, when he check raises turn and then bets this river, like he's pretty polarized between hands that are sort of caught check raising turn for value, sort of two pairs. I probably wouldn't even check raise the turn with two pair because there are so many rivers that I can just barrel. Like if I'm betting flop, betting turn, I'm probably going to barrel any ace, queen, jack, 10, spade if I'm bluffing. So I think you should actually just check call the turn with a big hand. But no, he check raises, and I mean he looks pretty full of shit. So I bet the river. He does tank a little bit though. Although I definitely think you need to balance your river tanking range. Like don't check call flop, check raise turn, check snap fold river. I mean it's just you're giving too much away. I mean, you should always be taking a little bit of time on the river. Yeah, standard 4-bet jam with pocket fours against the villain. That 3 bets reasonably wide. Standard peel 10-7 off. Yeah, not quite enough on that flop for us to check raise, I don't think. So here we flop the nuts, obviously against c-bet. This turn, we're definitely betting again for value. Expect to get looked up again by like ace-x, 8x. Some turned 2 pairs, yeah. Plenty to get value from, so that's big, 120. And on this river, I think we still rep plenty of sort of missed flush draws and things, so I don't think there's any danger of him folding to the bottom end of the straight or anything if we just bet huge. So I think 345 is a good sizing. Jack deuce off is a hand that I definitely fold pre rather than open if this c-bet number was over a more significant sample. I mean, it's 44% over through 18 3-bet opportunities, but I think until we get above sort of 100 hands, it's going to be very difficult to sort of put any weight on that number. Definitely sort of something to have in mind though. So 10 deuce 3 rainbow, yeah, definitely going to see that. Turn a flush draw, which is nice, so go with a gut shot. Yeah, I think this is a mistake, checking back here. I think my reasoning at the time was that sort of we're unlikely to get folds on this turn, which I think is true. I mean, every ace high is calling again. 3x, 10x that didn't raise the flop. Which is completely plausible. Weakish 10x would check call. Deuce x, 4x, mid pairs. So I think in that respect, yeah, it's a turn where we're not getting many folds. And also, if we river a flush, he bets, we raise. Look, I think he'd expect us to bet all the time on the flush draw always. But I think this turn should be a bet. We just have so much equity, and this bet actually combined with a river barrel as well, I think we'll get him off 3x ace high. So yeah, I think I thought about this a little bit too much in terms of what's happening on the turn. Yeah, I mean there definitely are sort of good spots to be checking back sort of flush draws, turn flush draws on boards where you don't think you have much fold equity on the turn, but I don't think this is really one of them. So I would definitely prefer a bet on this turn. The river's an 8, and I mean he checks river, expecting to be check called. Awful lot here. I mean the bet check bet line just looks completely full of shit. I expect to get looked up a ton here, so I think just check. Yeah, and he ends up showing down king 3, so I think we would have got him off that by the river, I think. So here another interesting check back from villain on ace 10 to board that you'd expect would be c-bet. 100% of the time. So yeah, not really sure what's going on there. Although I don't. I mean, I'd expect all of his heir to barrel, all of his heir to bet this flop all the time. So it's probably some sort of trap. In which case, we could probably just fold the turn. But and yeah, when he bets turn and bets river, this is definitely a fold. Yeah, so you see I fold the 8-3 off there. Start making some folds start giving his 3-bet range a little bit more credit. The ace deuce there could check raise, wouldn't be bad at all. Yep, c-bet 9-7-7 with king 3, pretty standard. Barreling a ton of overcards. We get check raise though. And king 3 off, yeah, is not the kind of hand that I want to 3-bet. Be 3-bet bluffing with on that flop. I think check raise turning a hand into a bluff is not a great option here, since like we rep pretty thin when we check raise this flop. Like, you're gonna get play back at a fair amount and probably end up folding the best hand. Whereas when we sort of check call flop, check call turn, and I expect this villain to barrel turns a lot. I mean, pretty much any card in between sort of a 9 and a king. Perhaps some other cards as well. Yeah, as these are expecting to barrel like a 6 or 7. But yeah, so we get to like check call twice, and then a lot of the time people are going to be giving up river, because like you rep an ace so well when you check call twice. So people tend to just give up on their bluffs. You get to win a showdown. On this particular turn though, I don't believe that villain is going to be bluffing. If he puts our range at sort of 8x, 8x, 5x, king high, well, ace-x isn't folding this turn, 8x is now never folding, and there aren't going to be many rivers that he wants to barrel, so the vast majority of villains are just going to give up and check back this turn, check back river. And he does with 6-4. Here flop trips, yeah, definitely need to be leading the turn. Kind of unfortunate that he doesn't c-bet this flop. He's expecting to c-bet it pretty wide. And on this river, we are, yeah, I mean, pretty much out of the nuts. He would just c-bet the flop with queen jack, 6-7. Yeah, jack 7 c-bets the flop also. So, as for his range on the turn, we actually saw him check back the ace-ace 10 flop with what I suspect was probably 10x. So he could show up with like some sort of 8x here. Ace high. Yeah, we're hoping he has a hand like ace 9 that float the turn. And he ends up making the call with king jack. Yeah, I don't really like it. The thing is though, like on a really bricky, like on a deuce turn, like I'm not leading here with everything. I mean, his range to check back 10-10-8. I mean, he's not he's not checking back, air on this flop. So I mean, he has bluff catches, and on 10-10-8 deuce with a flush draw, I mean, yeah, I mean we rep pretty thin for value. I mean, like small pairs, 8x, 10x, and on the 9 river, I mean, we're now repping even thinner for value. Like, I don't think he'd expect me to bet 8x a lot, even though I would. Yeah, so my sort of legit value range becomes sort of Queen Jack, 10x, 9x. I think I'm just gonna have sort of 9x a lot, like a lot of like draws. Because I mean, a lot of the sort of complete junk that he picks off with this bet, I don't think I actually have in my range. I mean, he blocks some of the straights. So. Yeah. I mean, he just needs to see bet this flop. I think is the main point here. I mean, he flops like backdoor everything with, king. I mean, you're gonna start like checking back and then calling, king high on these sort of boards. I mean, I'm not like against sort of like a random aggro player who's just gonna like pot turns and rivers when you check back flop. Then that's fine. But like, I'm aware that sort of my value range is pretty thin here, so I'm not gonna be. I'm not just gonna be like barreling off with undercards on this board, and also that he has a bluff catcher, so it's a sort of spot where like you're gonna sort of get owned a lot by people's ranges. So yeah.